Good morning. It's now our first full day in Tromsø, just woken up. It's about -6 outside, I think. Let me just show you the view that we've got from this building.
Someone's been on top of it by the looks of it.
Wait.
That's it.
Just sinks, never to be seen again.
So just for a bit of context, it's still something about -10, -11 degrees, something like that. We are now on our way into Tromsø city centre, just to have a little bit of a look around, see what's available. I must admit, the island itself is a lot bigger than I thought it was actually going to be, so it's exciting to see what there's going to be there available.
So we're coming from Thomasjord, which is like the sort of localised area name where our accommodation is, the Airbnb that we've stayed at. When it comes to Thursday, we are going to be heading up the Fellheisen cable cars, which takes us to the top of there. And when you get to the top, there's a nice restaurant and the chance to basically just wander off into the peaks as far that way as you want. And then Friday, I'm going to be setting off to climb Tromsdalstunden, which you can't quite see from this angle, but by the time we get to the city centre, you'll definitely see it because it's the biggest peak in the local area. We've just reached the Arctic Cathedral, which is pretty much at the roundabout where you get to the bridge that takes you over to the central island for Tromsø. And over there is Tromsdalstunden. After crossing the bridge towards Tromsø city centre, I took a chance to look back across the bridge at Tromsdalstinden, the mountain that I planned to climb on the Friday, and realised that, unfortunately, with the heavy snow that fell the week before we turned up, it was not going to be a good idea to climb it. Nothing to do with hiking or climbing fitness, as these are both things that I'm well adjusted to, but unfortunately the peak of Tromsdalstinden is a ridge, and it's one that collects snow in such a way that it kind of overhangs the edges of the actual ridge itself. And there have been incidents on this particular mountain where the snow has deceptively made it look like the floor carries on further than it does. So there's been a lot of heavy snowfall in the week prior to us turning up here, which obviously we didn't know was going to happen. So this time I've bailed on Tromsdalstinden, saved that for another time when there's less snow, and decided that I would climb something a little bit smaller. Coming up to one of the main high streets for the city now. This is Storgata. I figured I'd get myself a better beanie hat while I was there. By this point we were all starting to get hungry and started looking for somewhere to get some dinner.
Elbows will go this side, yeah?
I remember being glad that I only ordered a small lager. Yep, that's the small one. That was easily one of the best meals I've ever had, especially for fish. After we finished our meals, we had a couple of hours spare to look around some of the streets in the city centre before we were due to embark on a coach that would take us to Breivikeidet. From here, we were going to meet the indigenous people to northern Norway, Sweden, Finland and Russia, the Sami people, who were going to teach us about their culture, and we were going to get the chance to feed their reindeer. I dare you to go for a swim.
Okay.
Somewhere that we had been advised to try was the Aurora pub, which it turns out is Norway's most famous pub, thanks to a TV show called You've Heard a Lot, which was broadcast here until 2003. The journey from Tromsø to Breivikeidet took us roughly 40 to 45 minutes, and it took us east, away from Tromsø, away from civilization, and instead to the border of the Lyngen Alps. Once we had been introduced to the host and given the briefing for what groups we would be part of, we made our way outside to start feeding the reindeer. Some of the reindeer were definitely hungrier than others. Oh, here we go. And then, something that came as a complete surprise to all of us, after we'd finished feeding the reindeer, we were given the opportunity to go sledding with them through the snowfields, with the Alps either side of us in the middle of the night. After this one clip from the start of the sled ride, I put my phone away so that I could be in the moment as much as possible, and this was honestly one of the most surreal experiences of my life.
Sami sounds like, and I said this is the way I talk with my people, and this is my mother tongue. And if anyone here understands what I'm saying, please raise your hand. Yeah, I didn't see anyone doing it. I have to open the door a little bit, is that okay? Yes. So I don't totally pass out. So the Sami people, you could say that we live from the middle of Norway and Sweden up to here. And yeah, I mentioned the Northern Sami, which I speak, is totally different from the South Sami. That I know personally because my oldest sister is married there. And I cannot talk with her husband inside the house. But when we are working with reindeers, we can talk. Because many of these words are quite similar. And yeah, we have, for example, over 300 words for snow. They have over 400 words for snow. And how many words do you have? One. Yeah, that is quite typical. And these snow terms or these snow words, it is important knowledge for us, especially when you work with reindeers, because you have to know where you take your animal. If you take your reindeers to a place where the snow is not good, maybe it's icy there, that means that it's your fault if your animals start dying, because they will not get food if you take them to a place where it's bad snow. So that is really important knowledge for a reindeer Sami. We have people who doesn't work with the reindeers. They have regular jobs like teachers and yeah, all other jobs. And for example, in my hometown, Borealis, it is 400 kilometers away. And that is a Sami town. We have Sami kindergarten, Sami schools, and yeah, the only Sami university in the world that we have there. And in our neighbor town, we have the Sami parliament. Sami parliament works for our language, culture, arts, and yeah, that is our voice talking to the Norwegian government. And Sweden also have Sami parliament, and Finland. I'm not sure if Russia have it. I don't think so. So yeah, situation is not so bad since we have gotten the Sami parliaments, and we got recognized as people in 1989. So the situation after that has getting better and better.
Niada manala lua tigo mune gigo yoi kalayo yo loi lango leo loina yo loina loina Caroline yoi kalay yo loi lango leo la.
Yes.